Could you please state your name for the record?
My name is Osama bin Muhammad bin Awad bin Laden.
What is Al-Qaeda?
Al-Qaeda is an international alliance of Sunni Islamic terrorists founded in 1988. Al-Qaeda has attacked civilian and military targets in various countries, killing many. Al-Qaeda's objectives include the end of foreign influence on Muslim countries and the creation of a new Islamic caliphate. Terror techniques include the use of suicide attacks and simultaneous bombings of different targets. There are many different members of the organization, all who pledge loyalty to me. They will attack all heretics and eliminate them. I proudly lead them.
Do you enjoy watching people suffer?
Very much so, especially if they are American or Jewish.
Can you tell me also, how are you involved in the 9/11 attacks?
Well, I am the one who was in charge of the 19 brothers who had raided the towers. I ordered them to hijack United Airlines Flight 93, Flight 175, American Airlines Flight 11, Flight 77, and to attack the World Trade Center in New York and the Pentagon. I am responsible for the deaths of all 2,974 victims. I was inspired to destroy the Trade Center after watching the destruction of towers in Lebanon by Israel.
You tell me your followers do anything you say, even if you tell them to kill someone?
Yes.
Innocent person.
Yes. I feel no pain in killing innocents in jihad, including women and children. If they oppose the power of the Islamic faith, they must be killed along with any other heretics. But if they are innocent and they die, they go to paradise. So no big deal.
What is the World Islamic Front for Jihad against Jews and Crusaders?
Yes, it's a fatwa that I signed and declaring the killing of North Americans and their allies an individual duty for every Muslim because of the need to liberate the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem and the Holy Mosque in Mecca from the grip. At the time of the announcement of the fatwa, I also said that North Americans were very easy targets. And I told those journalists that you will see the results of this in a very short time. They did.
Could you also tell the court, what are your connections to the 1998 United States Embassy bombing?
I ordered the bombings. Hundreds of people were killed in the simultaneous car bomb explosions at the United States embassies in East African capital cities. Those cities included Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and Nairobi, Kenya. They finally realized that I was true in my conviction to defeat the heretics, corrupt the world. I was praised as a hero of Islam. America is another of the primary enemies of Islam. They must and will be stopped.
Well, Mr. Bin Laden, do you believe that all this killing and killing of innocent people and all this bloodshed is for the right purpose?
If it is to protect the faith of Islam, anyone should die.
Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Bin Laden, isn't it true that your ideologies towards establishing the modern Muslim world involve the restoration of the Shia law, opposing socialism, pan-Arabism, communism, and also your need for jihad, the right of what you believe are injustices against Muslims perpetrated by the United States and sometimes by other non-Muslim states? Also, your act towards civilians, women, children being killed by jihad?
Is that a statement or a question?
There's a question. Isn't it true?
Well, wait, can you repeat?
Isn't it true that your ideologies towards establishing the Muslim state involve the restoration of the Shia law, the opposement of such ideologies such as pan-Arabism, communism, and democracy, the need for jihad, and the killing of civilians, women and children killed by jihad?
Yeah, yes.
Isn't it true that you called on Americans to reject the immoral acts of fornication, homosexuality, the views against Jews, intoxicants, gambling, and usury, as well as your ideology that civilians and children were killed by jihad?
I did and they did not, so I killed them.
What about the tragedies and numerous deaths that occurred during September the 11th onward to today? Isn't that true?
Wait. Yes, it did happen and many died.
Now, isn't it true that you had split from Maktab al-Qidamahat while Azam acted as a support for Afghan fighters, where you wanted a more military role creating Al-Qaeda for the for the insistence of Azam that Arab fighters be integrated among the Afghan fighting groups instead of forming their separate fighting force.
Yes, I wanted military to kill people.
Now, isn't it true, Mr. Bin Laden, that you abandoned your denials without retracting past statements? On October 29, 2004, you stated to the United States you had personally directed 19 hijackers. It was in the form of an 18-minute tape played on Al Jazeera 4 days before the American presidential election, where you accused the U.S. President George W. Bush of negligence on the hijacking of planes on September the 11th.
Yes, those 19 fellas were strong and I ordered them to do what they did.
Now, it is true that this is a massive plan that requires resources, time, finances, people to actually carry out these insane acts, as well as you understand that you are an extreme religious fundamentalist that interprets the Quran in a negative and extreme way that gives you the ideas to carry out these insane tasks.
I do not interpret the Quran in a negative way. I interpret it in the way that it should be interpreted. But yes, it does take people and money to kill people, because, you know, you need to get bombs and, you know, etc.
Now explain to me, isn't it true though that 98% of the Muslim population carries peaceful practices of the Quran that concentrate more on achieving the Muslim modern life by the worshipping of Allah?
But I kill people.
But it doesn't matter. It's a shame that 90% of the Muslim population worship the Quran in a sense to establish the modern Muslim peace.
Objection, not a question.
You want any more?
Counsel, Mr. Bin Laden, the question was, do you believe that 98% of all adherents of Islam follow the peaceful purpose of creating a modern Muslim state?
Yes, but there are who need to fight the American and heretic group.
Okay, thank you.
Isn't it true that you and your group of followers are a small percentage of Muslims that carry out terrorist acts against inhabitants of the people on planet Earth?
Yes, to help get rid of the group.
Well, it's a shame that your fellow Muslims strongly disagree with your ideologies and that you, a small percent of your followers, carry out terrorist acts against foreign countries.
Still not a question.
That's a statement.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear under penalty of historical inaccuracy to tell the truth and the whole truth?
No, I can hold it.